Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Proby here today with you. It's a rainy day today, and it's nice to be in a cozy classroom, I guess. We're going to do an experiment today with celery. We're going to use some celery and do some fun stuff with it. And we're just going to talk about celery for a little bit first. And actually, do you know what this part of the celery is? Is it the roots? Is it the leaves? Is it the flowers? Or is it the stem? It is the stem, and we're actually going to test the celery in some water that has food coloring in it. We have 4 different ones to try. We're going to be scientists today. Before we do our little experiment, we're going to read a little bit from this book called What Are Stems? So that part of the celery that I showed you was a stem. What are stems? Plants have stems. Plants are living things. They need nutrients, air, sunlight, and water to stay alive. Now if you look at these are stems of bamboo. They're giant. Plants have stems. They also have roots and leaves. Some have flowers. Each plant part has a job to do to help the plant to stay alive. Different stems. Some plants have very long stems. Others have short stems. Some plants have thick, tough stems. Other plants have thin stems that bend easily. Some stems are soft and smooth, and other stems are rough. Now, I don't know this plant actually, but this one over here is rhubarb, which has a very, very thick stem. You can see these ones are very thin. A stem's jobs. A plant stem supports the leaves and flowers. It holds the leaves and flowers up so they get plenty of sunlight. So you can see that the stem is holding up the flower and the leaves. Water and nutrients enter through the roots and travel up the plant's stem. The stem carries the water and nutrients to the leaves and the flowers. So I actually kind of want you to think of a straw. A stem is like a straw. It is strong, but on the inside of it, it's hollow, and then the water and the nutrients can go up the stem to the flowers and to the leaves. Storing water. Some plants grow in dry places with little rain. Do you know what kind of plants those are? The plants store water and nutrients in their stems to use when they cannot get them from the soil. This cactus plant, these are cactuses as well, has thick green stems for storing water and nutrients. Now there's a few pages we're not going to talk about too much. This one is all about nodes. Those are little things that are growing off the side of the stem. This page is about buds. That's what a flower might start from, or a leaf might start from. Stem cuttings, we're going to skip that page too. But you can actually take pieces of stem and start a new plant sometimes. Underground stems, like potatoes. And then plants that are like, hey, stay away. Check out this stem with all its thorns on it. It tries to protect it. And did you know that there are stems all around you? These tree trunks are actually stems. Some trees, like this redwood tree, have trunks as big around as your bedroom. So cool. All right, so that was just a quick look at stems and what their job is. And their job is to hold the plant up and to help the water and the nutrients travel from the roots up to the leaves and the flowers. So on our celery, this is the stem. And inside are a whole bunch of little tubes almost that let the water and the nutrients go up to the leaves. So along with this, I have for you a little book that you can use to do this experiment, and And you can try this experiment at home if you want, or you can follow along with me and I'll give you an update on what our celery looks like. Our experiment is called the Colorful Celery Experiment. And our question is, what will happen when we soak celery stalks in colored liquid? What will happen when we put celery in colored liquid? We're going to be scientists today, and scientists ask a question. What will happen when we soak celery stalks in colored liquid? And then scientists always take a guess, and we've talked about this before. They just take a guess of what they think is going to happen. And that guess is called a hypothesis. So if you are writing this down, you're going to take your guess right here. What do you think will happen with the celery when it sits in the colored liquid? What will happen? Do you think it will look exactly the same? Do you think that it will die? Do you think that it might change color? Do you think that the leaves will change but the stem will stay the same? Or do you think something else? Write down your hypothesis. Now, in science, when you're a scientist, you have your materials and your procedure. For this experiment, you will need celery, you will need water, food coloring, and we're using 4 cups or jars. And so what I've done is taken some water, filled up the cup with some red, some yellow, green, and blue. Okay, that's what we have going on right now. We're going to put the celery in each cup, and then we're going to see what will happen. We're going to let the celery sit in the cups for a couple days. So today, after we put the celery in, we actually have to draw a picture, we have to illustrate, and we have to write about what we see on day 1. So when I put the celery in today, if you look at it closely, what do you see? I see leaves, I see a stem. I need to draw a picture of this actually. What color is it? It's a light green, I would say. Light green, and maybe a little bit of yellow on it too. So I have 4 of them. They all look about the same. I'm going to put them into the cups right now. So we're going to have our yellow one, and our red one, and our green one, and our blue one. All right, so grade 1s, that's our stuff. I need to draw a picture of what this looks like and what I see. And then in 2 days, on day 3, I'm going to come back to you and we're going to see what has happened. We're going to write our observations of what we see now, and also we're going to make a conclusion. And a conclusion tells you about what happened, and it also answers the question that we're asking. So I hope you're excited about this. If you want to try this at home, it also works really well with, well, celery is a great one, but also carnations. White carnations are really fun to do this with. And when I was looking on the internet, cabbage is a really cool thing to do this with too. So if you want to try something different that isn't celery at home, feel free to do that. I just want to show you these ones because I know you couldn't see them very well. So I hope you have fun learning about stems and what's going to happen with this colored liquid. Have an awesome day.